It's how it looks like what has happened today is Russia, being the weirdos that they are, losing weirdos that they are, have started saying, "Hey, you know what? Ukraine tried to kill Putin." Um, yeah, with a little baby drone. You know what a drone looks like in a wartime? It's not a little that blows up with red flames. Because that's not the kind of shit that would be in most things of war. Wouldn't be a red flame like that. I mean, it literally looked like a Hollywood pyrotechnic.
They're faking it or not. Come on.
And I can't get over this. So while we listen in on
come on. Just make the ammo sandwich and eat it already. You're done. You're finished. It's over.
I love
the
it.
world's against you. You suck. Your army.
Tony, and because he's going off on
half your military doesn't even want to be where they're at. They don't even
right,
know why
exactly.
they're there.
Russia's like, why are we here? What are we fighting for? Russian homeland.
Yeah. They want the
this
power
is not.
grab.
This is
Come
not
on,
your
man.
1920s.
This is what happens to authoritarians.
Exactly.
When we have murderous dictators
exactly
who try to invade sovereign nations and try to strip away the freedoms of their people and people in other countries, it doesn't end well for them. It does not end well for them. I mean, we talk about the Republican rake steppers here in this country, but authoritarians are always the biggest rake steppers in history. Always. They always
take him all the way down. And
can't find enough fucking rakes to step on. Can't find enough political and economic graves to bury themselves in.
Thank you.
And it's not like set in stone. But look, this is what humanity leads to when you corner them and cage them in authoritarianism. That's why people are fucking yelling and screaming and shouting in this country. We watched yesterday in the Texas Capitol where people who were protesting were fucking roughhoused and arrested for what? Being loud? Get the fuck out of here with this nonsense.
What is it now? 7? Yay!
And you wonder why people in this country are upset about January 6th, where people were breaking in windows, roughing up police officers, trying to overthrow our government, and they just ran them off with a bunch of pepper spray and flashbangs. Come on. Get the fuck out of here.
I can do that.
No one is believing the nonsense that we should slow roll into authoritarianism. I mean, we watched a video yesterday of police officers being set on fire in France because they're raising the
crazy. I mean, there are mornings when I wake up and I look at sort of what's trending on social media or what's trending in the news or what's kind of popping to the top of the discourse, as it were. And very seldom do they involve a false flag Russian attack on the Kremlin using what looks like a small piñata filled with fireworks being chucked at the roof of the Kremlin or dropped out of the sky at it or something. Thank you. I'm glad you like my Columbo shirt. Man, just one more thing. It's probably the dubious nature of the news this morning that is making me want to made me want to pull this one off the rack. Because I try to not put too much thought into my clothing, as you probably know. I go on impulse and that's it, because I think the brain has a max capacity. You certainly have max hard drive space. You certainly have a limit on recall and that kind of stuff. And so the less effort you put into those kind of things, the better. It's one of the reasons why I think Einstein had 5 outfits and then one he just kept through the weekend while somebody else did laundry.
That makes sense.
Shit about what you're saying. They got other fucking problems to worry about than what someone else is wanting to dress in or where or what their sexual orientation is or who they want to love and marry. No one gives a fuck about that. They got more of their own problems.
But again, the thing is, it's just a distraction. It's a look over here. It's a, hey, don't bother with that. I need you to look over here and not pay attention to the fact I'm trying. Oh, here's your wallet. Thank you. Oh, by the way, here's your standard of living. Thank you. Oh, by the way, those roads, they don't need to be clean and clear and crisp. Oh, by the way, they don't need to have the snow cleared. And there's no global warming. And I'm going to pay this guy to extract shit from your backyard because I'm going to take the eminent domain and take it away from you. Oh, by the way, just look over here. See those guys in dresses? You can't, no, they hurt you.
Just going to say it, false flags.
Literally, that's what Republicans are doing. And you're too fucking stupid to see it. Eh?
And this is my theory.
Other people and how you're going to oppress them based on your stupid fucking book and your stupid fucking delusion?
Thank you.
On. You think Americans buy that shit? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, enough of the white supremacist ones. They know that he is just white supremacist enough that they will follow him. They will follow this shit till the end of the earth.
Same shit, different diaper, folks. It's like the
Bud Light thing. It's a
world
society.
Talk about the Bud Light thing as if Bud Light's gonna go out of business. Bud Light is not a company. You dumb motherfuckers. InBev owns the Anheuser-Busch brands. Anheuser-Busch has fucking dozens, hundreds of brands. You stupid fucks.
Over the top.
Stop being such a dumb motherfucker. Stop.
Tony, I hate to tell you this. In the 1970s, the GOP decided they were going to make a bunch of stupid white boys like you. And I kind of sat there and watched us get into that. Because, see, around that time was when they decided they were going to start interfering quite heavily in all schools and suddenly change everything over to this testing system. And when we saw what the testing system was, and we were in the 7th grade, we looked at this and said, boy, if this is the standard, there's going to be some stupid people coming out of school soon.
Pluck your head out of your ass and realize you're being duped by a bunch of fucking oligarchs.
Because they made you stupid enough to go with whatever the hell they say. Because they didn't teach you how to learn. They taught you how to read and accept. Because if you don't understand why Trump got away with all this bullshit where he didn't have to come up with anything real or true, the Christian bullshit that we go through that's a literal lie of I believe is
I just want you to know
I have no proof and will say this as if it's true anyway because that's what I believe. They is the bullshit of giving that I believe a person, even though it doesn't. It has no person. It's just a lie. And they did a great job of saying, memorize these things on a test and we'll pass you through. We'll even make it easier for you to go to college.
Love. No one. I mean, besides a bunch of fucking Nazis.
With Golo, I'm not only tipped off weight, but I'm happier.
I put a bunch of my sound effects.
Sorry, it's just crazy.
But it's the world we live in.
Right. Right now, this is the shit we're going through.
Fraud.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. You know, a lot of people are fucking,
just
you know,
crazy.
oh, this is serious stuff. Listen, they're not serious people.
No. No, thank you, they're not.
The only one I couldn't get to work was nuclear stockpiles, which I think it's the format.
Well,
so
let's
I've got to
listen a
change the
little while
format
for
of the
how
audio.
you, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
It's the wrong thing for the button to work. It won't do it. I tried to find a workaround.
So that they can continue.
You know what I mean? Like I tried to get around the edge of it. Ficus will be back. Don't worry. Cupcake is not alive right now, but I'm working on that. That's piece by piece. Man man lai, as the Chinese say. So let's take a look at a couple things. One, right out, look at
I
false
wish
flag
he would
is
use
the top
Google
trending,
trends and not Elon Musk white supremacist
trend
trends.
on Twitter. Largely because it's there's Malcolm Nance calling this horse shit out. Sergei Semleny is saying, thread, I think the Kremlin UAV attack is a false flag. Here's why. Several videos in high quality and color appeared from CCTV cameras. Right, well, that's the thing. They're like 4K video from what's supposedly like a camera across the street, right? Which is obviously shit. Although I will say, the USSR at one point, because they were so big into surveilling their own people.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to also clean up
they made some damn fine lenses for their CCTV cameras. They made a lot of them, a lot. So,
let's eliminate
shit.
this
Hold
one. I think I
that
figured
thought.
out
I'll
what
be
was
right
wrong.
back. I want to show you something.
I think it's just my encoding. Encoding's a pain in the ass. Let me tell you something. When you do a lot of different video for a lot of different things, and everybody's got their own way of encoding, it is still a pain in the ass. Once we get to the same system of encoding for everything, it'll become so much better. For those of you who don't understand why
nerdy stuff, but
why I keep saying AI,
so I have
is
this older model Black Magic
is the way to go. Oh yeah, he's got whale. Hold on.
on it to hold any of the stuff because it's not strong enough to hold normal size cinema lenses. But it's a very good camera, and it's old, and it was very cheap, and you can get these like used in there as good as almost any camera being made today.
Right.
It's funny. There's a certain point where your eyeballs top out and like, all right, everything's getting a little too crispy, guys. And so what happens is everybody tries to roll back and go, that's a little video-y. Can we make it a little more filmy? Can we make it, give it that kind of like
the reality is
warmish look of old lenses in the...
Here's one of the realities that I will say also. A lot of people don't realize this. Your eye can barely see the 4K. So when you get to the 6K and the 8K, they're bullshitting you. It's a reason we can't see much without the infrared of things like JWS, this telescope that's actually doing the entire universe. So once you get past 4K, you're pretty much you're done. You're done. And everything beyond that is just about a matter of crispness and rawness, so that when you actually take it and convert it back to the film-like, because that's the way we now shoot movies. Yep, we suck all this data in, and then we pull a hell of a lot of it out and recombine it and colorize and fix the color and massive computers, and then boom, we put that out. So past the 8K, you're not seeing much, Joe, and that's the problem. That's why they're like, okay.
And one of the ways you can do that is you get these piece of shit old CCTV lenses from Russia that are for either 8mm or 16mm, depending on your adapter, and then you can attach them, and they're all fixed lenses, so there's none of them have like like they'll have a focal ring, but they don't have a zoom on them or anything, and they're just for shooting what you get, right?
Interesting.
But they bokeh. Meaning they have these little like circular light prisming effect that goes through the lens. So then the lens goes through because of the shape of the lens. It makes those little like bubbly round lights, and some that you see in really kind of, I don't know, like artistic looking moments, romantic moments in film. A lot of the street lights will look round in the background. Sometimes you'll see a different kind of a cut on a lens or multiple lenses because of the focal setup. This rough, but the different pieces of glass in there will create a different shape. So you'll see like a hexagonal, like a pentagonal shape or something. The lights won't be round; they'll be they'll be square, or they'll be
Yeah, we can laugh at them.
like a pentagon, or you'll see like a lens flare, which will be really spiky. That's what you look for in a in an artistic lens, anyways. So I
think
ordered
what it is
off of eBay 3 of these lenses for shooting some stuff a while back, and then I started shooting all the sexy liberal stuff, which is just basically video, and didn't have really a moment where I could use these. But this is for like doing music videos and the like, and they're gorgeous, but not on purpose because they're kind of shit. Honestly.
Okay, he's talking lenses. Let's go back to
the neighbor murderer
when he was really talking about
down
the
in Texas.
shit that's going
oh
on,
man,
like the shit in Texas with
again,
that guy.
the plot slips away from these stupid fucking gun nut boneheads. They're like, he was an illegal immigrant. He was supposed to be deported.
Illegal. How is some person illegal?
Why do you think we've been talking about guns
Stop
and
that
access
bullshit
to
where
guns?
you call
you
somebody an
stupid
illegal,
butts.
you
Oh, well,
crackers.
Tony, he didn't buy it legally.
Sorry,
You're
Greg
not paying
Abbott.
attention.
Disgusting human
You're not
being in a wheelchair.
paying fucking attention. Hell, most of the guns that are used in Mexico are manufactured
See, if I wasn't
here
an
in this
evil, if I was a
country
really
and
evil
taken
person, I
across
would
the
talk
border
about, I
that
would
way.
make a joke about the tree not finishing.
What, you think that gun manufacturers give a shit who
I
buys
know it'd
the
be
gun?
a really
They
bad
don't give
joke,
a
and it's been
fuck.
made many a times.
Hell, they're passing laws all around the country, lobbying laws all around the country where no one can give a shit who buys what gun when
No,
and where.
anytime, and anybody can carry anywhere at any time.
So you think
Doesn't
the gun
matter if you
manufacturers
are
give two
fearful.
shits?
And let's
If
make
the
gun
drug
laws where
cartels
we
are
actually
buying
can
their guns, they
create
don't give a fuck.
shootings
Do you
in the
think they
street,
give two shits?
just like the OK Corral,
If a neighbor
which never
buys
actually
a gun
happened that
and
way.
goes and kills children and a family with it, do you think they give a shit? They don't give a fuck. All they care about is the money that gun made them. They don't care.
To put it back on.
Give me a fucking break. There's a handful of families in this country that make all the fucking money off manufacturing guns.
Right.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, you fucking gun nuts. Go ahead.
That's
Try
why
it.
they have so much money in lobbying.
There's a
That's why
handful
they're the
of
only
families
companies
that
that
own a
do not
handful
and
of
cannot
companies in
be
this
sued, and
country
we need to fix
that
that
make the-
because that cannot be
The majority
constitutional.
of the profits off gun manufacturing.
If I had the money, I would
and
sue
getting them
to just get rid of
loose on
that.
our streets and other
That's
streets
all I
around
would
the
be
world.
doing. We need to get rid
That's
of that,
what it is.
and we need to
and they
fix
use
our courts.
Our fucking laws and our fucking legislators and our fucking governments. Us. We are the government. It's our government. They use our government.
You want to fix the
make
courts?
sure that
It's
they
really
pile
simple,
these weapons
and
on
we
the
don't have
street.
to do much. And it's a simple law. Wouldn't change in the
course you
Constitution
got
at
a
all.
gun.
It's a simple law
Of course, it was
that
easy
you
for
can
him
put
to
in
get a gun. It was
place,
fucking
and it would work
Texas.
fine.
And if anyone from another state where it's difficult to get
Every
a gun, just drive
justice.
to Texas. Drive to India.
You want to fix the courts? Really simple. I keep saying this. It really is simple. You get every justice still gets appointed the same way. But I hate to tell you this, you get appointed to the appellates, and you will spend 10 years somewhere. But that's it. You will get transferred every 10 years. Whether you're on the high court and just put it up as a lottery. Every single member of the top 13 plus all the justices, all are lotteried. You want to fix this shit? That would do it, and they don't get 10 years. That's it.
Joe Biden was a critic of what the former president was doing on immigration, but once you get into office and you look at what
Yeah, you're going to have a really, and it's never happened to get that conservative
triangle, you're left
of all the courts.
options. And
Every court,
they
every person.
asked the White House about this.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Look,
But that's where you'd have to go. And that's simple law that you could fix.
administration.
Indiana.
Fix
Drive
every
to
single
Missouri.
court.
It's damn
Every
easy.
fucking
Drive to
court out
Florida.
there.
It's damn easy to get a gun.
It's that it's
Specter of
corrected
serious
color
people
because
from migrants,
the
you can send
cameras.
troops to the border and
You're,
get
if you
employment.
want
Just try it. Go.
It's crazy.
It's real fucking easy.
want a lot of, I think, anyway. So theoretically, this would be.
And until we realize what the problem is with some fucking idiot
You could fix it later.
who's got a gun,
Next
to-
week on
who can get a gun anytime, anywhere he
Again,
wants because of the state he
I
lives
don't
in
even
can
care
walk
about
across
guns.
the
I care
yard
about weapons of
and
war
murder
being
a
on
family
our
of
streets.
5, then you're not
The
understanding
AR does not belong on the street. Neither do the bullets or anything about that belong on our streets. They are not. Again, they are not going to help you against your tyrannical bullshit government, you dumb white supremacist idiot who keeps saying that, and who are the stockpilers of 90% of the multiple gun families.
Throw a LUT on that and off you go. But
Just fucking fact. Hate to tell you that.
The idea that they have color.
If the government wants you out, you're done.
Gladly confirm the attack within a few hours. They never do it.
Maybe take a look at what we did when we went into all these wars that we've been fighting for the last 20 years.
Not humiliated. Okay.
How your little AK and your stockpile of guns, unless you've got an entire mercenary class of people, meaning your family got about 23 people in them and they all ready to go to war, and you got some explosive too, and I don't mean just some stuff you can throw. Because the first thing they're going to do is wipe out your house with microwave sounds. Yeah, they're just going to wipe you out. You won't shoot a damn thing. They just going to come by your house and microwave out your ass.
I mean, honest to God.
Dumbass.
The pyro
So sick of you idiots.
Well, so what? You're not going to do anything about that either.
It's the stupidity of white men who have created these dumb people who are this stupid that they will not listen.
Same old fake-ass shit.
Thank you.
From the fake-ass Nazis.
Thank you. The Nazi boys who are telling you, this is good, this is the way to do it. When they're ripping your ass off. They're using your fucking labor as slavery because they ain't paying you above 7 what? And then out of that, they're taking half of it in taxes, right? So at what point do you not understand what they're doing is just another form of fucking slavery? And another form of ripping off the extreme poor is the tax system that gives it back to rich people who never actually got it or deserve it. Like Amazon. Like SpaceX. And Elon. And the only reason that he was able to buy Twitter is a deal that needs to be looked at by the DOJ from Saudis.
By the way, don't forget, subscribe.
Fucking idiots who are about to go fucking broke because the oil that they've been pumping out is not only running out, but is about to become ridiculously useless. Because it's going to become synthetic, yeah, completely useless shit in the ground. You won't need it anymore.
Of course, the Housemark Radio program, mega worldwide, and I'm just everywhere.
And like I said, as we get closer and closer to figuring out all the shit we keep throwing away, and how that shit we used to throw away, and now we use it for batteries. Oh, that shit we used to throw away, and now we use it to make rubber. Oh, that shit we throw away, and now we use it to make rockets.
Too sweet, I have no doubt. Okay, here we go.
Understand that. And one time, we used to throw away almost everything. And then we figured out what to do with it. We haven't invented a whole lot of new shit, like I keep saying.
Who claim they're patriots.
But we're figuring out more and more how to use that trash to keep life going. And part of being a educated group would be that we would be at the forefront of that, which is where we used to be. Take a look at the paper today and see if you feel that way. Just take a look at today's newspaper and see if you feel that America is on the cutting edge of all that fucking technology still. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling like Denmark. And a lot of Europe is starting to crush us on this shit. And you know why? Because they pay for education. Yeah, people, society, happiness. Wow.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't give a shit.
That kind of picture.
I mean, I think Americans are sick and tired like I am. I think they think the way I do. I mean, I'm just the one with the microphone yelling and screaming into it, maybe. But hell, that's why you come here every fucking
exactly.
day. Is to get a cathartic release, especially in the first 30 minutes when I'm yelling and screaming into a microphone.
And that's actually
People are
what's going to
sick
get
of this
posted.
shit. This idea that somehow this fucking nation is conservative is bullshit.
Thank you.
Conservatism doesn't exist in this country, folks. It does.
And the other thing is, can we stop with this bullshit that it's a 50-50 country? It is nowhere near a 50-50 anything.
Do not. What the...
Literally, if you wanted to do it, you could have 5 different groups in politics.
Go to cashnetusa.com to apply for the money you need.
Yes,
And still not cover all the different groups that there would be.
Mega worldwide.
But I can tell you one thing, the ultra-conservative,
And by the way,
6 to 5, maybe 10% at the max,
set on fire.
would not be a huge portion. It would not be.
Waiting for. It's never
Most of us are in the middle of the road, 61%.
Doesn't exist. We have fascists and we have people who believe in democracy to some degree.
Exactly.
This is, I think,
And most people are liberal progressives in this country. I don't care how you label yourself. You want the country to get better, and you want more liberty for everyone.
Dean's got it up.
Maybe not now.
A progressive liberal.
Some recent reports have
Russell.
Oh, words. Oh, words.
Security breach. Why hasn't this been covered by the news in the same way as
So get loud.
$7 million payout?
Don't be scared of these fucking chuckleheads.
Which is a threat to Joe Biden. No, it is.
I like that, chucklehead.
It's time we engage in our democracy in a way
because they're very worried that more rate hikes could destabilize the banking system.
that we can make those changes. And yeah, it's not going to be the changes that everyone wants.
Even know
they were up. We can show them again and see it.
I don't align with every single person on the left. That's okay.
Nobody is.
don't
Nobody.
agree on
Nobody.
every single
Please,
point. That's
nobody's
okay.
the same. Nobody believes this.
That's kind of the fucking point of
Exactly.
democracy.
Nobody
That's
should.
reason
kind
you
of the
should
point.
strike.
No
And
one
Dan Chandler
person.
tries how to
But
get
when
money out of politics.
No
Jesus.
one person.
Ugh.
We have to
Barf.
make sure we take care of the
Although I suppose there's something I could learn from the methodology by which he brings people to his audience, of his live stream and that kind of stuff.
It's not hard. Yes, we're gonna
Maybe. I don't know. His considering he's got millions of people supposedly watching his show, the
Watch this play out. It's been
the amount of engagement, I mean, I see that or better on my end. It's almost as if his millions of subscribers are fake or something.
for me to be quiet. It's kind of mind
I say this isn't surprising. We know Trump won in 2022.
Again,
We know
I
there was
really do.
blatant
really,
cheating.
Really, really,
Uh-huh.
really
New poll shows Trump beating Biden
really
head to head.
wished he
Right.
would not use Twitter so much. Because
Tennesseans
it's just
support
become
red
Elon
flag
Musk's
gun laws.
little
Yeah,
bullshit
the
place. And if you're gonna do
government,
everything on Twitter,
the,
then you're missing.
legislature and the
Need to
gun
go
lobby
and
doesn't want
look
them to be able to do anything about it. The most outrageous excuse for a federal
Google
judge who said he
Trends,
can't retrieve
go
documents
through
that were
that,
requested in
and
a
then
defamation
go
suit
through
filed against them by
articles
Georgia
there.
poll
Nah,
worker
what's
Ruby
on-
Friedman. Ruby and daughter
Because
Shay
I'm
Monster
sorry,
faces
what you're
trial.
being fed
Oh, okay. Giuliani gives
on
most outrageous
Twitter is what
excuse to federal
Elon
judge.
wants you to see.
Outrageous. I would go with embarrassing.
Sorry.
Midas touch.
It's what Elon wants you to see.
59%
not what Twitter
favorability
wants you
with
to see.
all voters. Mm-hmm.
Because Twitter is now Elon,
Totally.
Senator Sharon.
not a group of investors that
hits
could have
record
said,
high
"Hey,
favorability
we
rating."
don't like
Uh-huh.
the way that it's going.
You're trying to
You know,
Black
to
Mac.
the
Collection. Look at that.
ultra
It's
right.
like Antifa wear. It's like Antifa formal wear.
This will be the first real
Yeah, this is
What?
the Trump makes you feel 49% who said they're not voting for Trump in the primary said he makes them feel exhausted. 32% say he makes them feel empowered, but they're not voting for him. 29% say they make them feel confident, but they're not voting for him. And 29% worried. Worried and exhausted seem to be eating up a lot of that space. Interactive voter stands for the YouGov
almost
B
80% of that.
Biden 45 to DeSantis 42.
Again,
Trump
stop
46
this bullshit
46.
with polls
Biden
now.
sure.
You're gonna start with polls. I will turn you off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn you off. I don't care.
I mean
Stop.
the poll stuff is
Stop. Stop. Bullshit.
We'll wait till we get closer to the actual primaries.
Stop.
Oh, and by the
Not
way,
even then. Stop.
Zelensky's trending
Bullshit.
because he's in Finland right now.
And the reason I say stop on that, again, remember the red wave and all those polls about the red wave. Where are those polls now? Oh, yeah, you seem to have forgotten them. Because polls are bullshit, especially the way that they're done today. Because so many of them are done through internet and not through actual focus groups. Now, the ones I trust are the focus groups ones, where they've actually gotten 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people that they've actually talked to, not just did like 4 or 5 questions. And I'm sorry, most of what these two are saying is very true based on that, not on the bullshit you're hearing from the media. Because for some reason, the media keeps paying for these polls. Remember, pay attention to who pays for the poll. And that will tell you who cares what the poll says.
As if he would be out of the country when they send in an attack like that or whatever, I think is, false flag or Prigozhin. Those are my 2 choices. We'll talk about that with Philip Bittner in the second hour.
Okay.
U.S. Navy, I think, is trending because of the, U.S. Navy appointed active duty drag queen in diversity drive to boost sinking recruitment. So, Food Most Trump is very the old U.S. Navy new digital ambassador whose role is to get more recruits.
Dude, do you guys understand? I'm sorry, hold on. Let me explain something to you. As a military brat, and as somebody who's lived most of their lives either around or near military bases, who actually dated 4 military dudes. They be a lot of gay in the USA. And a lot of it be in there in the military, especially the Air Force. Now, for me, Air Force was number 1, Navy was number 2, Army was number 3, and then the Marines followed at the end. Not that they felt that they had to follow at the end, if you know what I mean. Overly, if you want to talk about the actual definition of toxic masculinity, the Marine Corps. Good God, who the fuck? Anyway. But yeah, the military got a lot of gay, and it did back in the 80s, did in the 90s and the aughts, and sorry, it does today too. Sorry, it's just a fact.
Enemy warships from Russia and China roll up, and then Navy be like, I get it. We're so
I
lost.
don't hear that.
The dude digital gates. The Navy is not policing like certain oil shipments anymore because we're not doing the work for China. Now, there's a lot to catch up to this, but let's jump in. Okay, this weird thing about he's fucking this up. Iran seizes the second oil tanker in a week amid U.S. confrontation. U.S. Navy says several Iranian vessels approached the tanker in the Strait of Hormuz and forced it into Iranian
quick little break
water.
And run downstairs.
U.S. Navy says several Iranian vessels approached the tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. So the idea is that Biden is letting Iran seize oil tankers. This is an interesting. I watched this one channel called What the Ship, which talks about international shipping and blah, blah, blah.
They don't make sense anymore. When your conspiracy theories no longer make sense, you got a problem.
Because you're going to love the story of these ships. Okay, so here you go. This is, continue. Continue. Okay, there. Okay. So, Iran has seized a second oil tanker in a week. Here, let me pull this up right here. This is on Wednesday in Gulf waters. The U.S. Navy said the latest escalation in a series of seizures or attacks on commercial vessels in Gulf waters since 2019. The Bahrain-based Fifth Fleet of the U.S. Navy said the Panama-flagged oil tanker Niovi, and this is you're gonna love this. It has a Panamanian flag, was seized by the Revolutionary Guard Corps, in the morning while passing through the narrow Strait of Hormuz. In Iran's first response, Tehran's prosecutor announced the oil tanker was seized on a judicial order following a complaint by a plaintiff. The judiciary's Mizan news agency said no further details were provided. Yeah, what? Fucking what? Okay, but here it is. Okay, the incident comes after Iran on Thursday seized a Marshall Islands flagged oil tanker, which, by the way, a lot of ships fly the Marshall Islands flag as kind of semi-neutral.
It's a pirating thing. It's a pirating
international
thing.
politics.
Right.
But anyway,
it's not
in the
politics,
Gulf of
it's
Oman called the
thing.
Advantage Suite, which is
believe it or
an
not,
oil tanker for sweet crude, that kind of idea.
Unfortunately, one of the houses I used to live in, I bought from a captain, and he, before I could even finish the contract with him, was hijacked and killed by pirates. Because he was a captain on a big merchant marine ship, and he happened to have been doing us one of the more pirated, and this was back in the late 90s, early aughts. Yeah, way back, because I think I was still that's when I was in one of the apartments I had, I had a condo in
the most
Walnut
recent
Creek.
one is
The second condo I had in Walnut Creek.
The crew is Indian.
That I bought
and
from the ship captain.
Flagged in
was killed by
registered
pirates.
in Panama.
Before we could finish the contract.
But that'll show America.
Still bought the condo. Because I was able to buy it from his estate.
Right, okay.
We settled everything because we did have a good
Organization
contract.
shipping database. The Neovi's owner is Grand Financing Company.
Stupidest thing I ever did was sell that condo.
I believe, if it's the same boat. And the ship is managed by Greece.
It had a
smart
less
tankers.
than $600
They
a
manage
month
it, which
mortgage.
did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. About a fifth of the world's crude oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow choke point between Iran and
I think
Oman.
right now the rent in that particular building, I could get about $2,800 for that apartment.
Tension between the United States and
$2,000 in my pocket.
Tehran and Washington to revive.
Past the cost of the place. That would have been nice.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the ship. Because we seized one of them. Rudderless while Iran seizes tankers and China continues to launch warships, the U.S. Navy is becoming a laughingstock as they train sailors on the use of pronouns to promote drag. Yeah, so everybody's just.
Oh my God! What is this bullshit? See, I don't. Where? And it's only in their papers. Do you find me that liberal paper, the liberal bastion papers that everybody's reading all over the world, where they're laughing at us about pronouns? When in a lot of countries, they don't even get pronouns quite the same way. Because if you understand the language, a lot of their pronouns are actually part of the wording, per se. But don't confuse them. They don't get it because we speak in English. I think they speak in English, but I'm not sure because sometimes they don't sound like they're speaking in English. Let's go to the guys.
I honestly think that the simplest answer is the right answer, and that being that the right-wing media, the right-wing comedians are terrible at comedy.
They're not comedians. That's the problem. They're not funny.
They're bad at comedy.
I'm sorry. They're bad at comedy because they're not funny.
They're scared of it because they're so bad at comedy.
They're just not funny.
They don't know how to take self-deprecating humor.
Right.
They don't know how to make a joke of
themselves.
No,
they're not funny.
Take a joke in any sense.
And when they do try self-deprecating humor, it turns out like this.
Oh, hold on.
This is fucking. Oh, it's cringeworthy. Watch this.
About Ted Cruz lately in the news. And contrary to popular belief, I have never been an escort for Senator Ted Cruz. But I will tell you tonight, it is the coolest thing I've ever heard about Ted Cruz.
Wow, it even landed flat in the Turning Points USA room. They're like, what?
What?
Ouch.
I saw that clip yesterday, and I was like, wait, did she say it again? I mean, it's a resurfaced clip.
Right.
It goes to show you that, like, even when they're like, ooh, man, I'm going to get those lips for that rumor they spread about me being an escort that slept with Ted Cruz for money for my campaign. And
they'll
oh, man, I
reuse
got
it.
him.
It's like, no, that's not the way it
10
works.
times out of 10, it is always a fucking face plant, right? They step on the rake,
Thank
and
you.
what ends up happening is
Thank
we
you.
just
Hold on. I have to.
I guess ironically
Really
laugh
quickly.
at them because they're trying to be funny, and it's like, no.
What are you
if
doing?
not
What are you
funny-
doing? What are you
It's
doing?
the same way, and actually, funny
Yes.
that you mention what's going on right now, and I'll have to incorporate the writer strike into it. But like, I'm doing a What Was That that's on the White House Correspondents' Center, but there's an overall theme that's
Thank God the writer's strike happened
that I
after
have
that.
written throughout it, which is Republicans are terrible at comedy for a variety of reasons. But the main reason they hate the White House Correspondents' Dinner is because they don't know how to take a fucking joke.
No.
And
Right.
it's been
No,
that way
you
for
can't.
years.
You have to.
I mean, just to give you an example,
You have to have a
Donald
certain
Trump
amount of
is such a
self-deprecation
fucking
in
pussy
order
ass
to
bitch.
do this.
okay? That after 2011, which some might say is the origin story to him trying to run for president, because they fucking ragged on him hard because he came after
Really
Obama
bad.
in the birther movement, right?
Right. And then he showed up at the correspondence dinner, which made him even a bigger target.
Right. So they showed
Right
him
there
up,
in the-
they-
in
they-
the
he showed up
center.
in the 2011 Correspondence Dinner. Seth Meyers,
Right.
Obama, and others fucking
Just
ragged.
ragged on him.
And then
Ragged on
fast
him.
forward, Trump becomes president in 2017. He comes in office, right? He doesn't show up to the Correspondence Dinner then. 2018, nope. 2019, nope. And obviously 2020 was a pandemic. And that was it, right? He never showed up to any of the times that he was
I
there.
wonder what it could be. It was probably a scheduling conflict, I would guess.
It was clearly that. Or it's maybe because he tweeted that he's like, oh, that's not done in good faith. Or like,
I think he's just a cuck. I think
Right.
that's what it is. He's a cuck.
He's an
And
idiot who
remember
can't take any
that-
jokes
that
because
people got real pissed off
he thinks
about
that everything
Michelle Wolf's
is
joke about the smoky eye of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Which
the
is
look on
not-
her face,
All
when
right,
she
we'll
she
be
says
right,
that line, and the look on Sarah Huckabee Sanders' face, I'm just like, oh, listen. Normally, a comedian, when they're doing jokes like that, they want the recipient, especially if they're right there, to receive them with laughter.
Yeah.
But when she receives it with the worst grimace in the world, because it's the truth.
Right.
It's the truth. And that's what comedy is about the truth. And speaking of that, there's been a story this week that's been a little ignored. But it's hard to ignore when someone gets their genitalia out. It
Right.
just is.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to ignore that. But Steven Crowder, he's been going through
Oh, boy, here we
his
go.
little divorce and
He's
and
been-
Well,
divorce
he's
in the
been
media.
playing victim.
Oh, look at that. Number
I mean,
one
here,
on
look,
Rumble.
If you
can
were to
tell
read
because
through
he's
his
got that
divorce
Rumble
papers,
bullshit.
it's straight up victimese. Like that's the.
Oh, yeah.
That's
My
the
wife.
language.
What do you want? I mean, this guy's made a career
Don't
off
attack
victimhood.
me.
Right.
Don't
Like, his
attack me
entire
after
career is
years of you
But here it is.
attacking
So,
everybody else.
There's allegations, which I'll let you run through.
Allegations. I feel like
Allegations.
they're
Well, right. Well,
but-
okay.
Allegations.
Okay. Well, I'll let you run through them. But
Allegations.
Steven Crowder, to try to get out in front of this, he tries to do a bit on his show, and in the bit, to try to half-handed him showing his genitalia to his employees on the set over and over and over again, because that's the allegation, right? That he's showing his genitalia to his employees and people who work
All
with him.
over the place.
They make a bit where he shows his balls to a guy on the show. I'm not shitting you. I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite.
hilarious.
Oh, it's hilarious. Watch here's another example of how they suck at comedy.
Okay, all right. So
And now there's this newspaper article
Oh my
out this
God.
morning where it says, quote, Crowder was known to expose his genitals to staffers.
well, hold on a second. Yes.
yeah, well,
yes.
just wait. I mean,
That did happen. I mean, what are you talking about? The Terminator 2 sketch?
no, but at the time you only had 5 employees and they were all male.
Well, yeah, I know, but it was a Terminator 2 sketch because remember the nudies didn't fit?
Oh,
Was it
that's
that one,
right,
Sam?
Yeah.
Well, now
Okay. So I had to
What
watch this
the
a couple
fuck?
times because I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. Because I'm trying to figure out if
This is the
actually a
shit that
bit,
gets
because
millions
it's
and
written out to
millions
where
of dollars.
It doesn't even seem like a bit. That's how fast they are
Millions.
at it. But
Yep.
here's
For
the
these
thing:
idiots.
is that he
Millions.
talks about how the nudies didn't fit.
And we're sitting
you
here
know what a nudie
begging
is?
everybody
Yeah.
on Patreon.
What's a nudie?
And,
Tell the audience
and,
what a nudie is.
and
So a
Venmo
nudie, and I'm
to
assuming,
just
'cause I
buy a
haven't seen
cup
the
of
sketch,
coffee.
but I'm assuming what they did
This
was
is just
you have
ridiculous.
you can also use it from pantyhose. You can cut them up and do it that way because I've done that on set as well. Which is where basically
Like I said,
you
if I had
have something that is
149,
skin colored, matches your
10
skin
10
tone,
billion
and you use it
just
to
going
cover up
to
your
taking
ass and your
all people like
front area,
this
whatever it
and
might be,
giving
right?
them-
So that you're not
Not
what?
just-
So that you're not what?
naked
YouTube,
because the
Oh,
goal.
radio
because you don't want to
stations
show
all over
someone
the
your
country.
asshole and your genitalia.
Right. But also
Because
the main
an
reason
hour
is
here
because
and 2
typically
hours
for
here
some,
would
probably
just
for this
be
bit what they're
great.
doing, they want to have
liberal
as much
state-
exposure
'cause we would be
without being like,
so
oh, there's
full.
underwear.
I
Or
could literally
also,
fill up
they're trying to do a
24
blur.
hours a
And trying to
day.
be like, oh, look, he's naked, right? And
But
I've
he's
done
not
Worst
shit
part
like
is
this
I'd
all
have
the
to
time.
keep a lot of these
Yeah,
guys like
he's not
Tony
actually-
and
Now, in
Hal
Hollywood, when
to
they're not
cut.
shooting porn,
Yeah, I'd have to
because
get them
porn
onto
porn
the
has
system
to have
where it's like,
certain
okay,
disclosures and
first thing I
consent.
need is I need
Right.
you to do a
When you're-
6
No,
minute in.
there also
So
is a difference.
start
There's
at
the cock
0,
sock, too.
come in at
A
6
cock
minutes
sock.
because
and
we
there's
have to
also
do the
tell
top
us
of
what
the
a
hour
cock
news.
sock is. Hey, if we're gonna do this, let's
Unfortunately,
make
we'd
sure
have
we
to
get
do the 18-minute
down in
break
the
and
weeds
then
on
this. Okay, so
What
what's
is a
a
29-minute
cock sock?
break
A cock
and a
sock is a
44-minute break,
skin-colored.
and then
I mean, essentially, what it is,
58-minute break.
it's a sock
But
in its own way,
That's
and you
one
use
of the
it to
things
cover
I
up
really
your
think
dick
about
and
if
your
I can
balls,
get to this,
right?
get the
So
media
you're not
company
showing.
going the
Right.
right
So
way.
again, it's to have as much
We
exposure,
still may get
especially
one or
if you're
two
having a
stations
scene
going.
with an
It's still
actress or
working.
an actor, and you're in bed or whatever it might be, right? You know who would probably know about this but didn't do it so great is Michael Knowles,
Maybe one or
right?
two.
Michael Knowles would be a great person to talk about this, but he decided to wear a blue
Wait,
thong.
we should. Hey,
Whoa.
somebody get Michael Knowles on the line. We'll get him in here, and we'll ask him about
Michael
nudies and a
Knowles.
cock
So
sock.
so there's a cock sock, right? And then women also wear
Wow.
a skin colored. It's kind of like it's like not
Almost
quite a patch,
there.
but like in the same sense of like a Band-Aid, right? Where it's like that type of kind of look. Then there's also a merkin, right? Which is like the fake hair that women and men can wear and stuff. It's all these different things that you can have in scenes, whatever it might be. Definitely not porn, because in porn you're fully exposed, right? But in a movie, if you're in a thing and they're like, look, we need to have you as exposed as possible. We need to make it look like you guys are actually in the act of having sex or in your bed together or whatever.
You're doing
So-
the do.
Okay.
You're making the
Chef-
nasty.
Chef
How do you know?
Boria Homeboy wants to know, how do I know so much about this?
Well, when you live in the
Because
industry
I
area, you
used
get to know this
similar
shit.
things on set before. I've never had to wear cocksock. I've just wear nudies.
You
which
just
is just
know
like,
what a cock sock.
Yeah, I know what it is.
If you
And
work
also,
in
like,
the
they offer
industry
you, like,
down
nudies
there,
or
you
the
get to
cocksock?
know all
Which one
this
you want?
shit.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Even
Part of the
that.
reason I don't do
You know,
voice
yeah, the
down
stuff
there
that I
is
was
I just
doing,
don't
they were
want
like,
to
oh,
go
we just
through
need to
all
make
this
sure
shit.
that
Where you
everything's
get to
not
learn
coming
shit
out,
like what
you know?
what he's
Right.
talking
We just
about
don't wanna
because
see
you
your
live
balls.
down that area.
Yeah, we don't want to, like, if you sit down with these boxers, we want to make sure that we can't see your dick or your balls, you know?
I mean, even Hal doesn't live down
So-
there.
Well,
He's got
and the
his
other thing
house
too
there.
is a lot of
But
times
he lives with his
you know,
girlfriend
when you're
in
filming
Vegas.
something.
He only goes back
you
to
know,
the
you
house.
only have so
He's
much.
got shit
You only
in
have
that
so
way.
much film, right? And you
Right,
don't want
yeah,
to
yeah.
inadvertently
There's
catch
a
a
lot of
ball
us that just don't
shot
wanna
and then
go
have to spend
live-
money
Yeah.
to
do
get
the
the ball
NLA
shot out,
shit.
Right,
or
right.
it doesn't cut right. So
Yeah.
you put the cock sock on, or you put the nudies on, so that way you're covered, like literally, and in the actual
right,
editing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You're
'Cause,
covered.
yeah, you just want to make sure that you're
You're
you know,
not
covered,
exposed.
right?
You're
yeah.
not
As
exposed.
Brendan Lewis says, you twigs and berries.
and berries,
So
yes.
so here is
Berries, that's correct.
Well, let's
Twigs and
continue this
berries.
because they're making this sound like what you're saying, right? That these
Right.
are sketches we were filming. This was all in good fun, right?
Yeah. A lot of air quotes being around those words there.
Right, exactly. But let's continue and see what happens here.
How there
Was
are
it the ET ones through the cornfields where we had to run naked through
Yeah,
the
you were
cornfields?
naked in that one. Yeah,
We were naked in that one too.
yeah.
good one.
That was at night though.
Was it Gay Captain America? Because what happened
I'm
is
sorry,
the onesie didn't fit, so we just had to make it a nosy, and there was no.
well,
Onesie
now that
didn't
there are
fit
ladies
in the
that
nose.
here,
What the
we have
fuck
to run
does that
things
mean?
differently. This isn't like the Terminator clip.
Well, I know it's not like the Terminator clip. Do we have? Well, yeah. Do we have the Terminator
Let's
clip?
play the clip.
Yeah, I got
Have
it here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this is hilarious that he thinks he's the Terminator, right?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Did he do that sketch before or after he did the elective surgery on his chest?
I have no idea. Probably after.
Right.
I mean, he would have to after.
Like he
because
did.
He probably thought he looked like too much of a cuck.
Yeah, he
before,
was
so
like,
he
I
had
need to look like the Terminator.
I need the boob job.
Oh, I did not know
Get
that.
me the surgeon.
Oh, I
But yeah,
did not know that.
It's definitely I don't know. Maybe he did the sketch and people are like, "Oh, what are those fucking moves over there, dude?"
That's probably what it was. That's probably what it was.
I gotta cut him. I gotta reduce the fat.
That's probably what it was. Is he got insecure about the comments about the Terminator sketch? But let's go. Let's see the punchline of the bit here of where he's kind of in the news about showing his genitalia, forcing his genitalia on his staff member.
Look, okay, of course, yes. Many people saw my balls.
Which sounds
but I had a sock on because the nudies wouldn't fit. You couldn't do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You have a large posterior.
Yes, exactly.
So nudies don't.
And there were also times where we played the spot the balls.
Just like he's got huge pecs, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Again,
I wonder what
how
other
he
kind of
says the nudies didn't fit, right? Because he says he's got a big ass. He said the nudies didn't fit, so he had to wear a sock, and that's referring to the cock sock.
Right.
Earlier.
Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see what the punchline is here for this bit. How he's trying to half ham it with him showing people his balls.
Yeah. Well, we need to stay on topic as well.
Okay, I thought it was a topic.
Continuing with the infractions, Riley said, quote, "Govern me harder, daddy."
Riley? Oh.
She ran away.
She doesn't seem remorseful.
Wow. Jeez, Riley?
Riley said that. These aren't all that bad. I mean, but thank God we didn't get to the high one. Your mic isn't really working all that well. I think.
Wait.
Actually, hold on a second. The gain, hit the gain button.
Here it is.
Oh, okay, let me.
It's right there.
Okay, hold on.
Is that your testicle?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Oh, how funny. How funny you're in the news for showing your staffers your testicles, and then you write a bit where you make fun of it by showing your staffers.
You want to know how cringeworthy that is, right?
Oh, yeah,
we all saw where this was going. If you didn't, I'm sorry. You just don't use use right-wing comedy as your source of how are they going to fucking play this one out. But this was so predictable in the sense that they're like, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to show it, right? But also, the ability for Steven Crowder, and what made it even more cringe.
Millions. Do you understand what I'm saying? These people get millions.
So yes, happy birthday indeed.
Millions for this shit.
Yeah, accidents never happen. That's a scientific fact. Exactly. It's all you don't understand.
And it's not even funny.
Flag stuff. And this was days ago. But the idea is
not even close to being funny.
Navy is not policing.
Cringeworthy is the fact that he like scooched up his chair and he's like, and he like looks off screen and gives it, and again, like fucking signs it away to his little co-host off to the side there, where he says. Where he's like, like you can see his head turn and he kind of smiles and smirks to be like, I'm going to fucking show my balls, right? And probably not even show him his balls. And I also feel like at the angle that we saw, it looked like he was wearing pants. That's not to say you couldn't put your ball out of your pants.
Right.
But if the joke really was going to be good, you fucking go for the whole thing, right?
Well, here's the thing.
But the thing is
that
why?
I don't know if
you get up and then you're nude, right? There would be a whole thing.
Right. I don't know if you noticed, but there was one of his female producers or on the show standing at a mic.
Yeah.
And she, in the bit, they wrote for her to leave. It's all written. This is all fucking written up. Now, it's not by writers you're going to strike because these aren't actually real writers. They're fucking chuckleheads.
No, they can't afford those writers.
They're not
well,
real
they could, but
writers.
they won't pay
Also,
them.
I just want to say, anyone who is part of WGA and crosses the line, you are not supporting the writers, right? That's why people who are writers for Gutfeld are going to continue to write for Gutfeld because they're fucking scabs. And they don't support unions, and they don't support collective bargaining, and they don't support. I mean, look,
they don't even support a living wage.
Right.
What I want to say about
that.
this is, if people don't know about what's going on with the writer strike, you should definitely look into it, because basically what's happening here is writers since 2007, 2008, which is before streaming came out, right? They renegotiated. We went for like 100 or so days. And a lot of the shows that you may have loved during that period came back and they fucking shit the bed. It's because of the writer strike. A lot of shows actually failed because of the writer strike and ended up not having the same turnout in audience numbers that it did before the writer strike. So they got they rewrote, they negotiated the contracts, they got what they wanted. Fast forward, we've had streaming, we've had other services, different things. I mean, we've had since the pandemic, movies that have released on streaming specifically haven't had those clauses written into contracts, and actors have been fucked over in terms of what the box numbers were supposed to be and what they had negotiated before the movie came out, which was
Scarlett Johansson got really
exactly.
She's like, I'm not going to be the Black Widow anymore. You can kiss my ass.
Exactly. I mean, she was killed, but also like even if they were to bring her back in flashbacks, she would be like, it's not even
flashbacks. Well, and they could have done a movie series with
the money.
Exactly. There's a whole thing that could have been done, but they fucked her over, and they were like, this was all based on the fact that it was going to be a theatrical release, but we had to do it on streaming. We had to do it online because people couldn't go into theaters. People didn't feel comfortable, right? And so things were not negotiated for streaming in place. It was always used as the metric was box office in-person numbers, right? And so when it comes to TV numbers, we notice less and less people are watching live TV, but more and more people are watching streaming because,
TV.
again, it's the ease and accessibility. You can watch it wherever you want. And that's what's happening here. Is you've got writers
because
who
it's
are
no longer just
TV.
Again, just like the Wire Act, where it used to just be a pulse going down a wire, it is now many pulses going up a piece of
have
fiber.
Written for your most favorite shows, right? That you watch right now. You're like, oh, that comedy is so funny, or that drama is so good, or it's so fucking emotional, or whatever it is. You have this group of people, executives, right? And I'll actually pull up the clip of Adam.
Excuse me.
I've got it. Adam Conover. I've got the clip on CNN. I'm going to play that.
And so
I was actually planning on putting that up next.
Awesome. And so basically, that's what you have going on. You have a bunch of executives and people in the studios who aren't willing to just give their fair share to the people who are the genesis to the concepts in the shows and the movies that they're creating and making money.
The Spotify effect, where you're
and that's
not
what's so
making,
fucked about this,
where
right?
only a
Is
few
like,
hot,
I'm not part of the
fat
WGA.
people are
I haven't
making
had
real
anything
money
that's been
off of it,
done like
and
that.
the rest of the people aren't making shit.
I hold with them in solidarity,
including the people who are actually
hoping that
producing
they get what they want to
what
get
they have.
negotiated for, which is just the
becoming
fucking bare minimum. It's acknowledged these.
Again, it's the system by which we are actually getting to this capitalist system where even production of music and entertainment, the distribution of it is becoming ridiculous, where they're taking more and giving the actual people who produce it much less and making it much more difficult.
People
it's ridiculous.
For the work and the effort that they contribute into the fucking pockets that you give them, right?
And let me say something else before we get to this split, because Adam's going to point it out. But it's also
people on the screen
the disparity in pay. The disparity in pay.
Have their money coming
let's let Adam
in some way, shape, or form from this system being fucked up.
Hey, look, times are changing. We are not making as much money as we once did. This is not the golden era of television.
A lot of YouTubers, see?
What's that? See?
So I'd point out the fact that David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, the parent company of the network I'm talking to you on right now, was paid $250 million last year, $250 million. That's about the same level as what 10,000 writers are asking him to pay all of us collectively. All right?
So did you catch that? So $250 million is
ridiculous.
The parent company of CNN.
Nobody should be making that much goddamn money. I'm sorry.
That $250 million that one person got.
Those of you who don't get why there was a 95% tax rate.
That's the amount. One person got it in compensation.
That is ridiculous.
10,000 people are saying, we just want you to divide up that amount of compensation between 10,000 of us. That's all they're asking for.
It's nothing hard. It's like, look, man, I came up with the idea and we pitched it and you guys bought it.
Now pay us for it.
Wouldn't have
us for it.
Seasons in the cult following or whatever it might be. Like, we are the ones who create these concepts. If it was up to you, you would probably throw it into fucking ChatGPT and say, write me a pilot for a show about friends living in New York City in an apartment, right? Like, it's like,
what? I think,
and again, understand what ChatGPT is going to do. Go look and see what's already out there and copy it. Sorry, that's what it's doing. It's figuring out from what's out there already how to copy it, make it sound like it's its own shit, and give it back to you. It is not AI.
But I think that's one thing the writers are fighting for is their careers, because what I mean by that is the creativeness of their careers. Because
literally, do you understand what I'm saying? The minute they throw it into ChatGPT, you could literally pull what they've already written and reuse it again and say, nope, not going to pay you for it because it came from this thing. That's the problem.
Stake here.
And they know it because they've got people like me going, hey, by the way, this machine here that they're talking about being AI and being so great, no, no, it's a copy machine. It's a big, fat copy machine that speaks English. Speaks English very well. Does not speak any other language really well yet. But it speaks English pretty well. You know why? Because it was programmed by a bunch of English people. I mean, American people. I mean, yeah.
Not just for the writers themselves, but also for the people who view the content, you, the audience, is that there is possibility with AI for studios to hire writers that will just rework artificial intelligence like ChatGPT. So in other words, they'll train ChatGPT to write shows, and then they'll hire writers to rework Chat.
No, again, ChatGPT is doing nothing more than going out and stealing what it already sees, converting it into its own, and spitting it back out. It's not doing anything original.
Yeah, they'll be like, hey, punch up these jokes. Can you connect the plot?
Right,
like, what about ABC plots that happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be. I mean,
it's not
obviously,
going to do
it's
it
not gonna
very
be
well. I
good
hate
for
to
the
tell you
creativity
this.
of the writers, but it's
Go
also,
use this
it's
shit
gonna
and
create
see how well it
content
works
for the audience.
Right.
And
I've
if they
used it for
decide to do this
base
across the board, then it's going to be
outlines,
bad.
Yeah,
but other
It's
than
just
that,
going to be
no.
horrible content.
I've even tried doing basic
what we're gonna have is, like,
programs
no one's going to have a late night show
for doctors.
Right? They're going to play reruns.
And it usually gets close to
so
being
Jimmy
right,
Fallon, Jimmy
but
Kimmel,
never has it ever
Seth
spit
Meyers,
anything out that I
Last
could
Week
just
Tonight.
copy,
Which are all written,
paste,
which are
and
all
use right
written
away. It
by
always needs
creative,
some
funny
fix.
writers.
Exactly. Like
They're
Stephen
going to play
Colbert.
the shows that they made with the writers because they can't make them without them.
Exactly. Like, you have these people who you know, and a lot of those, I mean, it's a lot of the inspiration that I have for the What Was That Show that I do. And a lot of the reason why I do the What Was That Show is just to have this, like, catharsis to laugh off this crazy fucking timeline that we're in.
Right.
And obviously, I can't do it on a nightly basis, so it's like
So,
props
yeah,
to
this-
them and the team.
this-
that
this
they have.
is a- This is a UK outlet for Kremlin propaganda. Yep.
I gotta move.
If you're in the, you don't care about the Civil War going on, which killed 100,000 people, or what about the Iran-Iraq War, which killed 1 million people? Certainly the Congo Civil War, which killed 5.5 million people. Or at least the drug wars in Mexico, which killed. The UN has been engaged in all of these things. And also the internal civil war. And again, what's the trick that's happening here? And this dickhead is a great example of this argument. This guy. Oh wait, Phil's with us. Hold on one second. Let me bring him in a moment. Phil, can you hear me? See if
yep, I can. Can you hear me?
I do indeed. And give me one second. I will bring you in. I was just showing everybody. I'm going to move into studio mode. The
There we go. I'll use some Tic Tacs just in case they start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to people. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just go into it. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Those legs, all you can see is the legs.
No, looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Congratulations.
Billy Bush cackling like Salacious Crumb in Jabba's palace over what I'm sure was a very visible erection. Might have obscured what was actually said. So, to reiterate, the GOP candidate for president said, I just start kissing them. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. Gross. That's actually called sexual assault, and you can get 5-10 for it. Naturally, the Trump campaign responded to the recording with a non-apology, saying, "This was locker room banter, a private conversation that took place many years ago. Bill Clinton has said far worse to me on the golf course, not even close. I apologize if anyone was offended." Which, as we all know, isn't actually an apology. Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine both fired off tweets that denounced the recording, and the takes online were just Chernobyl level hot. Just a reminder that debate number 2 is this Sunday. That's all for now, but for everything else, subscribe to Complex on YouTube.
Fundamentally change the landscape of the European continent. It's also going to have wide-ranging global ramifications because as we've discussed, I think that there's a real risk to Russia's, its stability, because this is going to be enormously damaging to them, because they can't wrap their heads around who they are if they are not an empire.
Right.
And then it's also, you're right when you talk about it, is a civil war as opposed to an invasion. I mean, the Russians consider this a civil war, actually, because they think the Ukrainians are just Russians who have gone astray and been seduced away by the naughty West. They don't even recognize the fact that Ukraine is a sovereign nation. So they do see it as a civil war. Ukrainians will tell you differently, obviously. But it's that I think that is a really weak analogy. I mean, this is
pitiful.
A hugely different situation.
There's a reason why that they're selling that. Yeah, because it's quite frankly, there just is no better false equivalence where you can just shut down people who care about peace, because that's who they're going after. They have a different tack for going after the right-wingers. When they go after left-wingers on this stuff, that's why they floated the use of the word warmonger. That's the purpose. Whoops, hold on one second. Yeah. And there we go. So anyways, welcome to the show. At Philip Bittner on Twitter if you want to follow Phil, and he's got vlogs that he's filming while he's there. And obviously the breaking news this morning is this alleged drone attack with the 2 guys who were climbing up to the top, I guess, to set the charges on top of the Kremlin.
And what good luck that the camera was framed just perfectly.
I know. And in such vibrant color. And it's almost as if you can notice the TV station stands that are put up on the road in front of it for the May 9th celebration that's coming up.
Interesting.
It's like the timing is spectacular.
It's not even marginally artful anymore when it comes to propaganda and information warfare. I mean,
he is with this.
Now, maybe this is for domestic, consumption. Maybe this is, people have speculated it's a false flag because they intend to do something egregious. Now they have an excuse. But I don't know who did it. The Ukrainians have said it would be counterproductive for us to do it. Not least of which because we know that we couldn't get Putin this way. And also we are reliant on our Western allies and our global allies. So why would we take such an enormous risk for such a small...
Especially while Zelensky's in Finland, where they could go, Finland just joined NATO, and we could use this as an excuse to attack Zelensky in Finland and double down on blah, blah, like that kind of horseshit. Tactically, intellectually, it beggars belief. It's garbage. And especially how ineffective it was.
The idea then that goes to the idea of, is it a false flag? I don't know if there's enough evidence for it to be a false flag either, because it's it's possible.
Another shooting in Atlanta.
They could have picked a better target. To strike the Kremlin is not one. It's not a good look.
Hold on.
I know it's not a good look for them domestically. It shows weakness. Domestically and internationally, it shows weakness.
Right.
You know, that your
so
defenses
that
aren't
you
good
can
enough
see
to
another
protect
shooting has happened in Atlanta.
Symbol of Russian power.
Right.
I mean, that's the seat of government. Don't let anybody tell you that the Duma or the White House is the seat of government in Russia. It's the Kremlin.
So much fun.
What is she called?
So, for them to have done it to themselves,
the man is on the run. They do know his identity. They have pictures that are circulating among the command staff of what this man looks like. They believe there's a building that they're focused on right now to see if he went into the building. There are several.
Really, this is crazy.
In this area.
Again,
So
another Atlanta police report.
go
He's active. Going on right this minute.
Go floor
Lovely.
by floor to find out who the
I'm
man is.
loving this. This is fabulous. Isn't this just the way that it should be all the time? Active shooter in Atlanta.
If the man tries,
let's not go to.
It's like you've done this 12 times and you still
she was trying to probably make that
just line of sight. So there's just a lot of questions, but one thing I think we can comfortably say is that it was not the Ukrainian government. Maybe it was Ukrainian separatists who Ukrainian guys acting on their own and not going rogue. I mean, that's who knows. But for it to have been the SBU, the Ukrainian intelligence, or any kind of Ukrainian military, it's counterproductive. So no, it was not the Ukrainians. It was certainly not the Ukrainian military or government.
Yeah,
it was into Putin's hands. It's just.
But JFK Jr.'s official says that he says it's official. Like John F. Kennedy Jr., his official blue checkmarked Twitter account. I know he's been dead for a few years, but he's got his own official Twitter account.
What is he talking about?
JFK, the Russian president building.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. See what I mean? I wish he'd stop using Twitter.
Putin was in it.
Stop with Twitter.
I'm so over all the tankies and all the guys.
Using Twitter.
Just pretend you don't hear it.
Right.
Yeah,
well, let's talk about Texas, because there's some crazy shit in Texas all the time. But there's something specific you wanted to talk about today.
And the only reason I think it's going to be a quick and easy replacement.
Third graders, right? Is that what they're wanting to do? They're wanting to train them to do something, educate them quickly. Is because it's made up from the guys who started Twitter. It's almost like they're grooming them. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Okay, so I can't remember the bill. I think it's 11147 or 11.
Can you pull up that tweet, Gabe? And I'll put it on the.
So this tweet from yesterday, is it the tweet I think you're putting of that guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one from Mark.
Yeah. Okay, so this bill, just to give background, because I made videos on it yesterday, so people would to bring more attention to it. But the bill was originally written and I think put into. I think
RSV. What the hell? I love when something pops up and you're like, what the hell is that?
Committee?
A vaccine for what?
When it actually goes into...
There will be a vaccine for heart disease. There will be a vaccine for cancer. There will be a vaccine for... There'll be a vaccine for everything.
Implementing it, I guess, in January of 2020. Then what you see here, right here where it says it's crossed out 7 and then they updated it to 3. For the grades. Okay. So that is the revision that was just proposed, I believe, this past December. And then this in March, it passed it's still proposed. It hasn't passed into law yet. But they updated it. And it was actually proposed by a Democrat. And the whole point was because they wanted to get people
to pay attention?
Republicans to have a conversation, which is ironic. When you live in the onion, you can't expect that Republicans are going to be like, this is ridiculous. They're going to go for the weird shit. And here we are. And so
they're going to go for the weird shit. So what
control stations, which when I first saw that, I honestly was like, oh, is that what the South is calling those tampon dispensers in bathrooms? But then I kept reading and I realized
Wait, I can't.
What?
No, we can't breeze over that. So you
never saw that. Yesterday, when Gabe sent me that tweet and I didn't read it.
Oh my God.
The bleeding control station. I was like, fucking South.
God, I love this.
So you think in the South there's in like women's restrooms you're talking about the tampon stations that you put the quarters in, right? And it spits a tampon, right? That's what I call them, a tampon. Yeah. I don't clearly. But it's not a tampon. You think on the machine it says bleeding control station? Is that what you mean?
It makes sense if you think about it.
It's actually what it does.
It
is a bleeding control station, by the way.
Just collapsed Soviet Union and always seeing America as the enemy. So striking out at America at any chance that they possibly could,
always
or American interests, which we can debate geopolitics all you want.
Later in response to school shootings. Okay, so this is their solution to children being ripped apart by a weapon of war.
By a weapon of war. Thank you. I keep saying a weapon of war. That's all we want. Get the goddamn weapons of war off our fucking streets and those bullets.
Trauma care. Now that's not like him exaggerating. Those words are in the actual bill. Is that right?
Instructions on use of bleeding control stations.
There's an active shooter.
Whoa! Are you
that is not
serious?
surprising that we are on the air talking about.
Are you serious? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Bleeding control station required under this section must contain all the following requirements: torture,
fucking weapons, and
chest seals, compression. Oh my God!
Just because of the white, I call it the white gun culture in this country.
That's what
but
it
it's
is.
the guns, you dummy. It's the guns. It's not the bleeding control
Nope,
stations.
it's the guns. It's the fucking guns of war being out on the streets of America every goddamn day so that
if you go to
a couple of
it says a
families
bleeding control
can be
station required
billionaires
under the section
when we
must
shouldn't
contain all
have
the following
any
required
anywhere.
Quantities determined.
Not saying you
appropriate
can't
by the
make your
superintendent
millions,
of the school district,
but you shouldn't be
or a
passing it
director
on
of
and
the
taking it
school.
with you all
Number
over
one,
the place.
Tourniquets approved for the use in battlefield trauma care by the armed forces of the United States. Now, folks, I don't know if you are catching when I say weapons of war, but in Texas, the Republicans are like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's make sure all the tourniquets that we train a third grader to use after they're mowed down by weapons of war are approved by the armed forces of the United States. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. So do you have the whole bill open, or are you?
This is just that tweet.
Okay.
This is the one.
So above that, they specify how they need like trained personnel.
I just sent it to you. So
Go, okay.
Gabe, I sent you.
Okay. Understand what's on my screen right now.
So.
Gabe and the guys talking about active shooters
that they want trained.
in schools, legislation in Texas that the Republicans are willing to give us.
And also,
and in Atlanta right now, an active fucking shooter.
If you're a mass shooter and you see this bill and now you know what the schools are doing to prep and you are going to kill.
Wow.
You're going in and your point is not you have one specific target.
I don't, you know, if you're watching from any place but the U.S., you're probably going, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
It doesn't really, it's like, it's placebo. To me, this is like a Band-Aid with like,
literally,
I've screamed what the fuck's wrong with us since 2005 when I started my podcast.
Like literally Band-Aids is what they're like. Oh, there's a problem with people going in schools and murdering children
and it's just
in mass
a little faction of people who cannot seem to understand the word society,
manufacturers to profit off
the word science.
You know what? What's actually
the word sibilance?
Let's do that
because they could care less about any of those three. Any of those three.
If we think back to Uvalde, right? There's a story of that girl who had to pretend to be dead.
Yeah, she had to wipe blood. She had to wipe blood
from her dead classmate, friend.
Think about that for the rest of your goddamn life. Having that in your dreams every
the idea that
fucking
you have to then say, hey,
night.
Look, kids, look. Life is crazy. Shit's happening. We don't know what's going to go on. So you need to prepare it in any way possible. So if there's a shooter that comes in the building, we've got these stations ready to go so you can sew up and stitch someone. Because if your teacher's dead, then it's all up to you. And if everyone else is dead and you need to survive.
At some point. And that's why they wanted to get this picture out.
Oh, man. This is crazy. Oh, okay. So now there's a picture of the man who's doing The active shooting in
several of the SWAT team members.
Atlanta.
And they do have a different posture right now. But obviously, there are a couple of places that they're heavily focused on as we speak.
Yeah, and we see some of them staging. You can actually see some of them gathering.
Sorry, I'm just going back and forth. Oh, sorry. How the hell did I get on that? I thought that was up here. Wow, that's just horrible. I'm not quite sure how that happens. Usually I'm between these two places. I just want to see. Okay,
but it could be anybody out here right now, and we don't really know who's the shooter, sir, or whereabouts. So we're just obviously.
We don't know where the shooter's whereabouts.
Live right now on Channel 2 Action News.
Fire that happens on a child, like you've got a kid that's probably a third the size of an adult, which you're talking about, not as much blood.
I'm sorry, this split screen is unfucking believable.
It's insane to think
that I'm sitting here with above me,
you know what?
A fucking active shooter, and on this side, these guys talking about a fucking piece of bullshit law in Texas being pushed
we should make it
by Republicans that will do absolutely nothing to stop this shit at all. Nothing whatsoever. As a matter of fact, saying it's fine that this shit keeps going.
Make it even more ridiculous.
What bullshit?
Hey, that
What
sounds like a
complete
great
and utter bullshit? What is wrong with these men? What the fuck? At what point do we not start saying, go? No, you need to go away. You are fucking up the goddamn world.
It says each district peace officer.
There's still not enough of you. Why are we listening to these motherfuckers?
Most places or security.
They are not anywhere near what even.
So in other words,
if you want to talk, when you haul out all this bullshit with your fucking polls, if you actually dig in those fucking polls, what you find out is one fucking thing.
Oh my God. To use the bleeding control station, you can't make this shit up. And then
60-some-odd% of us don't like the shit that they are doing. And it's pretty hard to win anything when 66%, a supermajority, disapprove of your shit. Even when you gerrymander, even when you make it hard to vote, even when you fuck with the census to the point of lying so badly that when you tried to do a gerrymander this year, you realize you didn't have enough population because you fucking killed them.
I mean, that's just the pure simple.
You know what a pandemic does with 1 million people when most of them won't even get a shot?
Resource officers are older officers. They've been on the job for a long time.
When you've been cheating for so many years, so heavily that you don't realize you've just cheated your way out of controlling your own party to the point where it's now a fascist group of people only wanting control of women and everybody else, and not understanding that if they get their fucking fascist way, we will no longer be the United States. We will no longer be a capitalist system. And for the most part, it'll be a fucked up, don't work system. And it'll be too late.
And all you got is a couple clips and a handgun. You're likely to do the human thing and fight or flight. And most of the time, you're going to flight.
Their PE classes, they're going to have to start teaching the kids to run in zigzags.
Well, I mean, they're already trying to teach them
how to
not only to use tourniquets that are approved by armed forces, but chest seals. Third graders are going to
oh
do
my
chest
God,
seals,
this is ridiculous.
Bandages, bleeding control bandages, space emergency blankets, latex-free gloves. It's a good thing they'll know how to use that. Markers. Hey, there we go. There's some education
to
things.
That's to keep the kids busy. The markers and the scissors. Probably.
Right.
I found it really impressive. Like yesterday, I did a video on this, and I hadn't actually read this list, and I started reading it on the video, and I realized they really took allergies into consideration. when putting that
Latex
together.
free.
Yeah.
Can we just say students are allergic to high-powered rounds coming out of semi-automatic rifles?
Everybody's allergic to it.
Can we just say that?
Everyone is allergic to high-powered rounds coming out of machines of war.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean, I can't wait.
EpiPens and Benadryl.
I would almost go out on a limb and say that if someone were to say, hey, you know what, I have an amendment
This is
to
crazy. This
new
is just
amendment,
I can't.
We should have blood.
I
ready
just can't get over this
at
split
the
screen.
school. Like if we introduced a blood bank in a freezer, they'd be like, oh yeah, let's fucking call up,
Oh, God.
The kids start learning how to do catheters.
Exactly.
and
They're like, okay, so I have to use a butterfly type needle, and I've got to make sure that I hit the vein. Nope, miss it that time. I'll get it again. His little fingers. Like like I'm also thinking back to third grade, where I'm like, okay, third grade, the things that really stuck out to me, people made fun of my name. That's all I can remember. But the idea that you're like, hey, look, you got to know how to like stitch someone up, bandage them, make
I
sure they're
haven't been to
elevated.
Washington, so I don't know. I haven't been up on the hill. I don't know what intel they're getting, but I will bet you dollar for donuts that there are a lot of people who are clued in who know that Ukraine is going to give Russia a whooping, a real hard whooping, and the Ukrainians are going to win this war, one way or the. Even if this offensive doesn't go well, which I don't think will be the case. I think Ukraine is going to do some real serious damage to Russia very soon, and McCarthy knows that, and I think that he knows that you want to be on the winning side. So,
and they're not going to be. How are they going to be when they've been screaming all this time? Fuck Ukraine! Fuck Ukraine!
This war, this is.
Oh my God! This bullshit where you think you're gaslighting.
And
you might be getting over on maybe 10%, maybe.
And Russia.
But for the most part, everybody's going no.
And maybe look in the mirror as we've
no
times. And I hopefully,
stop.
I hope this will be beneficial to Russia because they'll.
Yes, it's exhausting, and I think that's their goal now.
McCarthy
is just make it so exhausting that you just don't
hasn't
care.
got a fucking clue. So that's that whole.
You just don't want. You can't. You don't even want
to. Explosion.
Yes.
The
not going to get there.
Derailment.
I'm not going to get there.
Ammo depots blowing up inside Russia. This is accelerating as we get closer and closer to what I think will be the actual offensive. I think the actual offensive, and don't hold me to this, but if I were a betting man, I would ballpark it in the third week in May, maybe to the first week in June, that sort of thing. That would be. I have seen. I was. So I had my 53rd birthday this weekend, and on Monday, May 1st, and I went to a little villa outside of the city so that I could get some fresh air, and they spent some time with friends, and we barbecued and all the rest of it, which you can't do, in an urban setting.
Right.
But as I was returning, this is like a suburb, like a almost rural part of the greater Kiev area. I was driving back, and I tried to get a snapshot of it, but unfortunately, I didn't move quick enough.
Sorry,
There was
this
a train that I saw
is crazy.
moving into Kiev, probably to some sort of staging area or some sort of repair depot or storage depot. With
if you had told me
dozens and dozens of our M113
when I lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota, back in the 70s,
Vietnam era. They
that-
call them the box here in
and remember, at this point, we just finished the 60s. My grandfather was still griping every freaking
to save
summer
you guys from shrapnel, and you move
about the hippies that burned up his city. Yes, the 60s protests were very heavy in New York and New Jersey and Philadelphia and that area. And they happened to be very heavy where my family was at. And there were sections that were burned down in that area. It's crazy. So, if you'd have told me in the 70s that by the time You are your parents' age that they are right now, almost just a little bit older. They were in their late 40s, coming up on their late 40s. That you would be just a little bit older than them, watching everything you learned about right now in school happen again. Yeah, see, that was second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade. That's where we were at in Minnesota. We just came to California. So understand you're just learning about everything that's going on in World War II and the history and how we got here. And
depot close enough to where your frontline guys now have to
and here we go. Everything is like repeating. It's like that 80-year marker, that thing that says we repeat this shit every 80 years. You would think as we get able to start, better and better documenting this shit, that maybe we'll start getting to 180 years instead of 80, maybe 200 years before we repeat this shit. I'm not counting on it. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I hope it happens. I hope we can get to the point of being smart enough to
YouTube, kiss my ass, monetize take my money away. That's what I say.
Because we're just repeating it. It's just over and over again.
Yelling and screaming. I actually think this is.
I feel like a bit like I'm sitting with my grandfather in the big Cadillac, pushing the 8-track in as we turn the corner, talking about how
school gun violence problem, their children being protected by I don't know.
What wasn't Antifa? I don't even remember who it was back then. Just burned everything down because of da. And I remember even thinking back then, this doesn't sound right. It just sounds preachy. It sounds like somebody's got issues that isn't right. Isn't quite what we should be. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Gillian, all the cabinets in the classroom, have it ready to go. Yeah, I don't see why we're limiting any of this. We should.
Yeah, I mean,
go big or go home.
That's right.
Again, I think if you put it out there, Republicans say, "Hey, that's actually not a bad idea," and you're like, "No, that's the shit, man."
That's the problem because we live in the onion.
Yeah.
Right.
This is all the most ridiculous things you propose is what they're going to really gravitate.
They're like, that's a good idea, and that's why they're so fucking terrible at writing.
We're at the intersection of WrestleMania and real life. That's where we're at. Gabe, you had one more thing that you wanted
I was going to say, Derek, before you go, you have a weekly kind of series that you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you wanted to give that a shameless plug or you just wanted to give some other topic.
Or tell people that you actually say your name. That would work. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. There's probably a lot of people in these comments who are going to get tricked on Sunday, and why give them the heads up? let them just find out the hard way. The drag queen prison hour thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's showcasing all the
non-drag. Just follow.
Fans find out on Sunday.
Go to Dara's account page. It's at Darafaye, Faye at the end, and then make sure to just check out. Look up just this Sunday.
Someone dropped my link tree, and every Sunday I drop a video that you're either gonna love or you're gonna get confused by, and then block me over. I don't care either way. It's fine.
Well, everybody, we're gonna be right back. Dara, however you say it. I'm just kidding, Tony.
Rogue
You're
elements.
I know.
Think.
Please come.
I'm very doubtful of that as well.
Yeah, especially in the lead up to the offensive.
Ukrainian rogue elements
I'm still trying to get over the fact that
plenty of stuff for folks to do and do it under the umbrella of the
that would actually help
Ukrainian armed forces, which would actually help
tee things up. Right.
I mean, crazy things happen in this world, and sure.
Mm-hmm. One of them would be this kind of thing.
It's interesting to hear that because I do think that's the most likely possibility here is that somebody
Yeah, whether he's telling the truth or not, whether he's full of shit or not, I agree. This is in relation to the fire you were talking about here. The fire they think was a drone attack. Tank with oil product caught fire near the port of Taman in the Krasnodar territory, which is near the Crimean Bridge, which is one of the fuel depots where they bring these vehicles across and then fuel them up. And it's a crucial space. As the governor of the Krasnodar territory, Veniamin Kondratiev, said on Telegram, the fire occurred in the village of Volna. It was assigned to the highest rank of difficulty, meaning it's a huge fire and hard to put out. What caused the fire, the official did not specify. Telegram channel Baza clarifies that the fire could have been provoked by a drone attack, and provoked is a weird word to use. Head of the Temurak district, Fedor Babenkov, said that the area of the fire was 1,200 square meters. That's a big fire.
That's a
very big fire. That's a big fire.
The plume from it was enormous.
Yeah. Explosions in Russia and the occupied Crimea.
There are anti-Putinist Russians inside Russia. There are certainly infiltration groups from the Ukrainians that are inside Russia.
Interesting.
This is, again, I don't, not to keep harping on it, but things are going to get really nutty very soon.
Yep.
I believe it.
This is going to be an intense summer.
Keep
in mind that Tony is 2 hours ahead of me, so it's like
because I started a little earlier today with some stuff
just getting out of bed, and he's
coming on live that I'm going to actually edit up.
I have no idea what's going on. I just woke up.
So he says, what happened? And I sent him a few tweets with the videos, and I figured he watched them. But the reason why I wanted to put Putin on there more than anything is because I just, a couple times today, I wanted to say into the microphone, faker, genocide maker. That's all I wanted to do, because that's where this is
faker,
going.
genocide
that
maker.
sounds like sounds like a pussy ass bitch move.
Pussy ass bitch. Very much so.
This is what happens when you start faking assassination attempts on yourself. So here's the Kremlin.
Let's go.
This is the building. You see with the dome on it? This is the building that apparently Vladimir Putin resides in some of the time. You see the flags on top. It's nighttime. You even see a couple guys walking up the dome's ladder here, and I'm guessing that ladder is the flag ladder, meaning that's how they get up there to take the flag up and that way. That would be my guess. And there's a couple guys on there. Some people were pointing that on the internet, but it's not going to be unusual that someone's on these ladders, more than likely like security and checking. So I don't think that's odd.
I mean, hey, when you're a fucking war criminal, genocide maker, right? You're a dictator. There's probably gonna be a lot of people that try to, you're not everyone's favorite person. Okay,
you're gonna need a little security.
When you're at this, we've seen the fucking hospital.
Yeah, so there's a breaking news: a shooting in a hospital. We're gonna go through this clip here.
You can't even go to the place where you would go after you get shot to be
healed.
Hey,
at least there's professional bleeding station people there. I mean, at least this actor here had enough compassion to tear apart people's bodies.
Right.
Inside the place where they would fix them. That's where we're at in this country. That's the thank goodness where we're at. But this is you're gonna watch, and I'm gonna mute it because it's not even worth playing now. Again, this is apparently 2 drones were used in this supposed attack. Again, the Russians blamed Ukrainians immediately, not really realizing the missile defense and the security defense that the Kremlin would have in the first place. Like they're totally. And again, this is just propaganda to convince the Russian people that Ukrainians are actually attacking Russia and Putin. That's all this is. It's all bullshit. I don't give a fuck. You can fucking dig into it and see if it was Ukrainians. Listen, if the Ukrainians wanted to take out Vladimir Putin in a building, they would at least make sure his ass was in there, number one. Number two, they would bomb the ever-loving shit out of it. They wouldn't send a drone to try to burn the flag up. Watch this. Watch as it flies into the frame here. There it is right there. And then it hits. Oh, boy. Yeah, boy, that was, oh, man.
Wait, you're telling me, wait, hold on.
This is it.
Again.
This is the, thank you. And it doesn't even touch the building. It's exploded over the goddamn building.
You're telling me that somebody was like, this is an assassination attempt. You're going to tell me that this drone, right, however operated with whatever, or had on it, was going to be the thing that was going to kill Vladimir Putin.
Right.
Like it was going to make it someone on the inside was going to lift open a window and guide it on in.
It didn't
right?
explode by touching the building.
Listen, we're
it
on a writer's
exploded
strike.
over the building.
You're writing a movie or a TV show.
He's a writer. Hello.
By the end of the show, I'm gonna have a pilot ready to go.
Oh, really?
Should
we pitch it since
he's a freaking writer? Well, he can't pitch it. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's
I don't want or accused of being a skit.
I don't know if he's one of those writers.
But I think here, I'll put it out there.
No, he lives in that area.
Open source.
Yeah,
right?
open source. Open source.
I just could not live down there.
Some idiot
and
decided to fly a drone thinking they were going to assassinate Vladimir Putin, or is it something else? Like I don't know. Maybe it's all a lie, and somebody else from within the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, said, "Hey guys, we should do something that makes it seem like I'm the victim. I want people to feel sorry for me. I want people because here's the thing." Then you're going to get people now on the right who are going to argue, "Oh my God, can you believe
they tried to assassinate him?"
Oh, they're probably already doing it. Oh, honestly, I mean, like, I'm sure if I went onto Twitter right now,
go to Benny Johnson or any one of these other fucking.
Oh my God,
cucks.
can you believe?
These
ignoring the fact that Putin has bombed hospitals.
Oh my God.
Okay, there's a big no out there.
Just like it bombed the residential area last
fucking
week and
building.
Fucking civilians.
That was such bullshit.
This is his attempt. Again, this is his attempt.
That is such bullshit. Look at this.
Because here's what I think. I think Putin sees the writing on the wall here, and his only.
he knows he's about to go down.
Yeah, but who wrote that on the wall?
Well, right.
He wrote it himself.
Not a writer.
Well,
he wrote it himself.
Listen, the fact is that Zelensky is not going anywhere, and Vladimir Putin thought he could run him out of the country. He didn't go. The entire country has unified in solidarity around the idea of liberty and freedom, and their sovereignty of their nation and their country, and he is at the helm of that and pushing that. And I think Putin understands if you keep Zelensky there, this idea is going to keep pushing. They're not going to
because they really did
elect
elect him. He's a comedian.
And so this idea that they would Ukraine would attempt to assassinate
understand
Putin,
that.
I think this is more propaganda for the Russian people to stay
their
like-minded in this effort to his lies.
Not joking,
but it's also
kids.
an
Go
attempt
look it up.
to justify Russia attempt to make an attempt on Zelensky's life here.
Now is
this is laughable.
Ukraine's
Listen, you
Obama.
grew up in Illinois, which fireworks are not legal there.
Not joking.
You have to fight in
Jewish
Indiana.
dude.
Right. Well, in Missouri,
drive to Indiana.
In Missouri, like in Indiana's probably the same way. Like right across the border. Like if there's a sign that says "Welcome to Indiana" or "Welcome to Missouri," there's a fucking fireworks stand right
it's
there,
like, go
and
to
it's
this
open
exit to get the
24 hours a
fireworks.
day. It's open
Exactly.
24 hours a day. Now. When I was a kid, because
It's not a
Missouri,
strike.
so they're like fireworks. Hell yeah, let's burn some shit down. Let's make sure people's arms explode. That's how we're here or there. But you remember
It's a
M80s?
drone flyover.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they're
literally,
actually
it was a
banned now
flyover.
in most states. But M80s, like this is what this reminds me of. It's like a drone dropped a few M80s.
Oh my God!
I mean, like
how crazy.
Again, the idea
pathetic.
that somebody would be like, "Oh my God, look, Putin's he's the like Martin Taylor Greene's gonna come out and be like, "Oh my God," using the $200 a barrel thing in their calculations, and then when the number doesn't come up based on reality, they're like, "What the fuck happened here?" And that's because they're mass off.
I had a recent brunch with a German journalist friend of mine who works for ARD, German broadcaster. And I said, walk me through all this kind of like German politics and stuff. What's something I am not an expert in. Explain to me, this relationship, this how Germany has approached it. And I go back to Nord Stream, and in the Nord Stream 2 thing, when I was having this conversation to him, was to me it felt like almost like an intervention to your buddy who's got a bad narcotics habit.
Yeah,
you're like. We're going to cut cut the supply off. And my friend kind of laughed and said, in essence, yeah, that's kind of what happened, because we were getting, there were a lot of people who were concerned about in Germany, but it was also openly discussed
the dome where people are working, right? And they're on patrol and be like, oh, well, you know what? We should just try to go in on an angle like this and go directly in. Like, why would you? Where are you going to fucking assassinate him? Where do you think he's going to be You know, like, do you think he's going to be in his presidential office at that time? No,
I mean,
he's not there.
Here's the thing: is that apparently this building, he has residence somewhere in this building, but he wasn't there. And if you see the fire, the smoldering part of the fire, maybe that's why the guys are on the ladder to go up and set the fire, to be like, oh, see, it set the building on fire or some shit. Who knows? But again, this is a weird ass fake attempt. I need to move on. And I don't. I want to keep.
I'm like, huh? Oh,
trust me, I want to keep mocking Putin. There's nothing better than mocking Putin and mocking Republicans who genuflect to Putin. But there is a shooting in Northside Hospital in Atlanta.
Yep, in Atlanta.
It looks like the shooter is
one
still
dead,
at large.
3, and he's still at large.
I think is what is being reported right now. Am I right on that? Can you see if you can follow this dude to make sure? It looks like multiple has been injured. I don't know. Again, much about the shooter at this point. They are releasing a security cam footage of this shooter, and I'm going to show it because if he's still at large, they need to find this motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, as of what time was this?
Now again,
this was 35 minutes ago. So
yeah, exactly.
They said
he's still on the loose.
I don't want to post the picture and unless I've confirmed. It looks like the Daily Beast has it. I want to see who else has this. It doesn't appear in these pictures that they have.
Yeah, as of 10 minutes ago, the Atlanta Police Department say, based on our preliminary investigation, these are the photos believed to be of the active shooter. Anyone with information on this person's whereabouts?
So is this the one that I? Hang on, let me see if I. Let me put it on the screen here so you can see it. To see if
is the guy with the hoodie?
Yes. Is it this guy?
Yep. Yeah. That's
okay.
The one.
So this is the picture of the shooter. So anyone near Atlanta, make sure that you circulate
inside,
this photo.
stay safe,
stay inside,
share
stay
it
safe.
around.
And it doesn't look like he's carrying a rifle in this photo. At least there's another photo of him with a mask on, but this is him with the mask off. And to me, it looks like whatever's in this bag, he's got his hand in the bag here. So I don't know if this was right before he started firing. I'm not sure if it's a handgun.
It says they're investigating. So Atlanta Police Department is investigating an active shooter in the area of 1110, so 1110 West Peachtree Street, Northwest. So if anyone is in that area or near that area, get away. Stay away, right?
This is
those
really
of you who
weird.
are probably wondering.
This is
they probably got some of these photos quickly because
she's an anchor and reporter for Atlanta News First. But look at her.
They were able to pull from the
police released a photo of the suspected shooter at the Northside Hospital medical
most
building.
Of the security cameras in that
West
area
Peachtree
because
Street
a lot
in Midtown, 3 people were taken to the hospital.
Finally starting
but
to
it was
do.
At a hospital.
But it's for a while back.
So maybe this is like
which is if you have a
it's not actually
security camera, especially an outside one, and you can actually share it with the police department, they'll take it and they'll put it into their bank as one of their ones that they'll put into a bank. And I don't know how many they must be looking at, but they have the ability to go and just look at your camera when you because you've given them permission to.
Is it a building?
So it's kind of interesting that they can
Northside
sometimes get this information so quickly.
So it's like a clinic building, right? That's not
it's got urgent care. It's got urgent care on the bottom. If I go over, then you've got a parking structure.
Okay, I see. So it's just part of a big hospital complex there, and this is just one of the buildings.
Looks like it.
The building itself says NH Northside Medical. So
a little bit further over.
All right. Well, so anyone in Atlanta, please
be careful out there.
And
if you're in Atlanta or
police department,
especially downtown, it looks
law
like this
enforcement
is
gets
right
the shooter
downtown
in custody as soon as they can, and no more lives are lost.
This is crazy.
Any more fucking
absolutely crazy.
Jesus Christ. I can't. It's the stupidity,
ridiculous.
Right? It's the fucking stupidity. We can't figure out that it's the guns. It's the guns, stupid. It's the guns, stupid. Speaking of stupidity, and again, I don't want to waste too much.
Always in front of the door.
We don't know for this shooting. We'll probably end up saying something about it tomorrow. But here, Chud's a TikTok posted this video.
Oh God!
They're doing more of this stupid magnetic meat thing, man. So, okay. Remember the Magneto phase of the vaccine?
Yeah, man. I had fucking spoons sticking to my face.
Sticking to my forehead all the time.
During the Magneto phase of the vaccine hysteria, they were going to like city council and health board meetings and shit, and they were claiming that they were magnetic, and they were sticking keys and coins to themselves. Not that they
weren't sticking.
Try it out. On
They weren't sticking. They were doing the stupid thing where,
and keys.
Here, I'll try right now. I got keys right here. Hold on. Hold on. Nope, didn't work. Sorry.
Well,
I guess I'm not Magneto.
Yeah. Well,
but also that would infer like I've got. Okay, look, I've had 2 shots of
keys.
booster
It was
bivalent
a key, and it
I
was
feel like if anyone would have be magnetic right now, it would be me, right?
But why would they make that cool though? Is first
I don't
thing.
know. Also, the idea that if I was magnetic, I would have fucking fragged my computer right now.
Right. Well, dude, have you ever watched fucking X-Men? What power is cooler than fucking Magneto?
Yeah.
I mean, Jean Grey is really cool. It's cool that you can read people's minds. The other thing, healing
it's
power
way
of Wolverine,
more than just that, right? The
Storm.
telekinetic powers, but also she's, considered one of the more
Using the
powerful
weather?
mutants in
Hello?
the X-Men.
right? But Magneto, hello, he's
I
like
know.
the worst villain ever because he's so powerful. Why the fuck wouldn't that be cool?
Literally rip the iron out of your blood.
There are a lot of times I'm like, oh, I can manipulate metal in my relationship with it. I can, like, even if you were to use the movies as reference, it's like, oh yeah, I can use all these little like iron in someone's blood, and I can pull it out, right, and then make a plate that I can then just levitate on, or use metal to then in a sense, it's like creating a sounding board where I can move past it, levitating. I could fucking fly if I was actually Magneto.
You can shake the earth.
Oh,
the
yeah,
metal
that's
in the
true,
earth.
yeah.
It's fucking incredible what you can do.
If you notice how he did fly.
We've reached another Magneto phase in the QAnon universe here.
Oh, Jesus.
Because now they're claiming, and they've been claiming this for weeks, and of course, you're trying to fucking get through to them like, hey, dude, coins and keys are not magnetic. They're not. Try a fucking real magnet off your refrigerator and see if the coin sticks to it.
Yeah.
Understand what a magnet is.
What a magnet is and how it works.
Because there are metals that are magnetic.
And by the way, most keys are not.
Are not magnetic.
Right. Most keys are not.
It hurts my fucking head to even think about this, but somehow they've
Most
gotten
keys
to where
are not.
beef, specifically from Mexico, is magnetic. Because it's trying to manipulate you. Why are they saying that beef from Mexico is magnetic?
Tony,
why are they saying this?
let's because right now I'm going to pitch you a Hallmark movie, okay?
Okay, here we go. More writing on the writer's strike.
Here we go.
You're going to piss some of these unions.
Yeah, you're going to, because aren't you a union dude?
These are very shitty ideas. So
aren't you a union dude?
Media wants to take
you were writing for one
all
of the
this
shows?
is open source, by the way. We're definitely not trying to scam.
Look, I'll even give this a challenge to the audience. If someone wants to take some idea that we've mentioned right now, right, and like, oh yeah, I want to make a fun little video, fucking send it to us. We'll play it on the show. I love that, man. If you guys want to create content,
AI it up, and if it's really bad, I'll definitely show it.
But here's what I think's happened, right? They're gonna say that cows, right, the meat that's coming into the U.S. that has been exported from Mexico. They're trying to do two things. One, Taco Magneto. Oh my God, the movie right there, it writes itself. So basically, what they're saying is that these cows, a little spicy. The sangre is a little spicy, right? The blood. And inside, they're going to say, like, oh, there's a lot of iron inside that blood. And if you eat that's coming from the vaccines, there's going to be a whole movie where they're going to talk about how we can't import the meat from Mexico because, our vanilla taste buds, we don't like that, right? 2 cents, Nacho X-Men. What kind of, oh man, what do you call X-Men that's not your, oh yeah, Nacho X-Men, right?
Nacho X-Men. Nacho X-Men.
They're shitting all over your idea because they got some great names for it.
I'm not. No, they're not shitting all over it. They're making it better, right? But the idea that there's these magnetic cows that are coming from Mexico, right? Mexican Magneto. And the only difference is Magneto has an accent over the O. Magneto, we'll call it, right? But yes, the Mexican Magneto meat that comes in from Mexico, right? That is what they're afraid of because they're going to be like, oh no, these these illegal cows coming in.
Illegal
They're gonna
cows?
fucking ruin us. They're gonna make us all magnetic. We're gonna be controlled. It's my God.
I don't know. I think this is a good one.
Illegal
Shits and Giggles.
cows.
I think that's a pretty good one.
Moognito.
I love
Okay,
it.
now I'm going to show you a video here. This chucklehead. Okay, so this is. Do you know who Stu Peters is? This fucking idiot. So this was posted on his account somewhere.
Is it real, dude?
Stu Peters? He's got a show where he's a dumb fucking right winger.
It just sounded like a made-up name.
Well, I mean,
like my name is Stu. How does he spell Stu? S-T-U or S-T-E-W?
S-T-E-W.
Like the fucking I'm eating stew.
Go look it up.
Shut the front door.
Go look it up. But he posted this on his accounts. Chud's a TikTok pulled it and played it here. He obviously was bragging about it, I believe.
Oh God, this is gonna be good.
Is it real?
Here we go.
It's real, right?
Yeah.
Stu Peters show.
This is
now
real,
I'm going to Daily Beast with an article that says MAGA's new shock jock is a bounty hunter with a troubled past.
Here's another what was that? But here's this lady that he's posting her little video here.
Yeah.
And she's got a pack of beef
fuck
here.
is Stu
It's
Peters?
hamburger. I don't know if it's like 85 or 90. I'm not really sure.
Guess I'm not.
How much is that beef, baby?
It's certified beef. It's got a sticker on it.
Certified by who? Us or Mexico?
Just Magneto. I don't know.
Play the
It's
video.
certified by
Play
the
it.
magnets.
I want to hear it.
Watch
I wanna
what
hear
she
it. I wanna
does
hear
with
it.
the
I wanna hear
coin.
it.
This
Come
is
on,
fucking.
Come on.
Oh my God,
play
they're
it.
outside their fucking mind.
Jesus.
So video 2, so you don't think I just
Video
taped it there? See, look, falling off, doesn't stick.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You can kind of feel the magnetic pull.
Oh.
There it sticks.
The magnetic pull, because
How can
the
you
beef
feel
is
the
only-
magnetic pull? How can she feel? Like, what transitive aspect is happening
Well,
here where she's like,
got
I'm
the
touching...
vaccine. She's Magneto now. What? don't you see about
Wait.
this?
So if she...
And what
if she
coin
don't
is
know-
this?
Look, I mean...
I'm not sure how this insanity works. Look, here's the thing: what she is doing is she is claiming not only that this coin sticks to a magnet, which
that a
is
coin.
bizarre
What kind of coin
at
is
best,
it?
but that in this package of
American would
Magneto
not.
beef,
Sorry,
whatever
most
this
American
is,
wouldn't.
hamburger, there's only one spot inside of it that is magnetic, like as if a cow ate a magnet and then you grind up.
Ground
If that's
the
how it
magnet,
works, you
and
remember
it's
the
just
you
in this
remember
one
the
little
lawmaker
spot.
that was like, if you swallow a camera, it'll go down in your vagina. Do you remember this?
Yeah. That was amazing intellect by a man.
Same.
All right, kids.
People, same motherfuckers who think that there's only one spot in the hamburger. I don't know if they know how hamburger works. Do you know how hamburger's made? Surely you know how hamburger's made.
Please say you know how hamburgers
I
made.
honestly am now questioning whether I do know based on.
I mean, you grind it up. It's ground.
It's ground.
And that's why
Thank
it's
you.
called
That's one of the biggest
ground.
things.
Or
Ground
it's
beef.
ground beef. Yeah.
How would a ground beef, if you grind a beef, how would
I don't
only
know.
one spot
Honestly,
in it be magnetic?
I don't know. Like,
and how would a coin that is not
Nah,
magnetic
thank
stick
you.
to it?
I want to know. I want to
don't.
know that it's possible. It's possible that.
Watch, if you move it, it falls off. It falls off.
So video 2, so you don't think I just...
If you moved it, wouldn't it stay on?
That's
If it's magnetic,
If
come
it's
on.
fucking magnetic. If you moved it, it would then. There's an equal, especially if it's ground up. A ground up. Something that's ground up where you mix it
It would be
together.
all-
great.
oh, thank
There's
you.
Even displacement of
Thank
this
you.
magnetic
It's
power
ground
inside
up.
this meat. This idea that you would say, I'm going to move it from the wet part of the fucking package
Wait,
to
it's
the
the wrap.
Doesn't
It's
make
the
any
wrap.
sense.
It's just like it's the guns, morons. The wrap is sticky.
It's the morons.
It sticks,
Right.
man. It's a little sticky.
And then
it's,
she moves
it's
it.
sticky wrap.
What I just don't get. I don't get what
fucking
she's trying to
bonehead.
say.
Oh my
If it's
God.
magnetic,
Okay,
then if
guys.
you moved it to
I'm
any
sorry.
part of the
I can't.
package,
I
front
can't
or
take any
back,
more today.
That it would actually work, right?
We'll see ya. Oh my God. Just insanity. Till tomorrow.